Well, friends, it's time to find the profit of profitability and see what this lady's actually all about. She's 200 meters away. Well, almost 300 meters. Back up over here. I think we passed by last time, but because I was doing other things, I didn't stop and actually investigate. Maybe that's her tower up there? Yeah, that's probably the entrance, or she could be standing outside. Is that? Oh, that is a weird little cactus. It's like almost the sign for Mercury. I don't know if that has any bearing on anything, but just what it made me think of. That one's got little horns on it. That one's kind of funky. I don't know if these are supposed to look like anything. See, now they're just getting like into regular cactus shapes, so maybe not. Hello? The abandoned Rizzo's bunker. Why do all these streets always end in just like junk?
Hardline discrepancy detected nearby.
Oh, it's time. No, that is not the right one. It's probably right behind me, isn't it? Of course. Oh, they go down that way. Okay, we'll get to that later. Because I want to leave it so it's not going to like disappear whenever I go searching. Join us for the Profit of Profitability seminar. Well, let's head in. Not that I want to go to her seminar. Oh god, she's got candles everywhere and... Oh, I don't mean to stand on the candles.
Using the promise of transcendence to lure profit seekers. Shameful.
I wonder if you hadn't done his personal quest, if he would actually like go along with it. Just like, yeah, this is a good idea. Hello?
By concentrating on profit, I can invite wealth into my life.
What are those scams that actually do this in real life, where they like where you send in $1 and then they're like, oh, and then we'll send you the $1 back, then you have to send it back to us, and they end up like trying to get you to send tons and tons of money to them. God, what are those scams called? Like they're cults of profit or whatever. She's nobody.
The profit of profitability has changed my life. Her seminars are worth every bit.
Should there be just an open fire inside? I mean, there's nowhere for it to... I hope that's venting outward. It looks like it's coming in. You're gonna get monoxide poisoning. Get smoke inhalation. There's a skull over there. There's a couple skulls around here. Is that... No, that's not anything. That's just some purpleberry munch. Thinking I see things that would be interactable. There are a lot more skulls in here than I had anticipated there being. Maybe I'll come back to that. I want to see what the Prophet's about before I go, like, deep into her lair. You know, I would comment on the squalid conditions, but it's really no better than a lot of the places I've seen around Halcyon. Somebody's running around back there. Ha. Oh, what are they? Are they doing research? What do we have in here? It's a workbench. I mean, nothing really to see. Just a couple things I could pick up if I wanted them, but I don't want them. Okay, what are you guys doing running around? What? Got like yurts in here? What is all this? Hello, madam?
About time somebody came the hell back. I notice you're not spattered in blood, which doesn't bode particularly well. For you. I hope you're not about to tell me you lost your nerve.
Does she think that I'm like a lost member of the flock or something? Sorry, ma'am, but a little loose on the headspace lately. Remind me what I'm doing again? Lost my nerve? I understand what words. I understand those words individually, but not together. Are you confused or crazy? As far as impressions go, use good little work. Sure, let's do that. Lost my nerve.
You're rather unflappable, aren't you? I wish I were like that. Instead, I'm tense enough even when I don't have a dozen people not doing what I paid them to do. Pardon my tomfoolery, stranger. I see I've mistaken you for someone else. Victoria Foxworth, Rizzo's executive clerical actuator. Pleased to meet you. Might I ask what brings you to the reserve?
So she didn't think that I was a member of the, like... I'm kind of thinking of it in terms of a cult, like I was a member of the Lost Flock or something like that. But she just thought I was an employee of Rizzo's. I'm investigating the murder of Halsey and Helen. Just your average tourist. Don't worry, like... Yeah, we'll just go straight up with the truth. I'm investigating the murder of Halsey and Helen. The trail has brought me here.
A professional, I see. I don't know anything about any murder, but you might be just who I'm looking for.
You have something you want me to
There's
look
a
into?
particular task that my hunters haven't yet been capable enough to complete. I wonder if you'd have any interest.
Sure. Just add it to the list. Go on.
As you may be aware, Slug currently owns the reserve, but it rightfully belongs to Rizzo's. There's an ex-Rizzo's employee currently in possession of the land grant for the entire complex. Insult to injury from Slug. And evidence that this complex is rightfully ours. This particular individual is up there in years. His mind is failing. Leaving the land grant to him is like leaving it in the trash. I would like you to retrieve it.
I feel like there's probably more than what she's actually letting on. Sounds kind of shady. Sounds easy peasy. I'll see if I can solve this non-violently. I don't think I understand why you need my help. Can't your hunters handle one old man? Yeah, that's a good question to ask. What makes you say the reserve rightfully belongs to Rizzo's? People are sick. Yeah, why do you need my help?
I would have thought so too, but I sent my scouts out ages ago and none have yet returned. The old man's certainly too senile to be a threat, but it's possible Slug put him under guard. You're not recognizably with Rizzo's. Thus, it shall be easier for you to get close.
Alright, so what makes you say the reserve rightfully belongs to Rizzo's?
You mean you don't know the story? This atmospheric complex was first annexed by Rizzo's. We'd planned a lovely wildlife-themed attraction to be built here. Alas. Due to some backhanded and admittedly shrewd legal footwork on Slug's part, Rizzo's ownership of the complex was lost. Now we rent it from Slug. I seek only to have what was stolen returned to us.
I mean, if they did it legally... yeah, well, do I want to say that? Will this, like, cancel the quest, or is it just going to be more information? I'm not going to help you shake down a defenseless old man.
This situation could be solved with words, but that's not what we intend to do. If you don't help us, violence will be our only recourse. Just something to think about.
Alright, fine.
You're back.
Right, sure, it could use my touch.
Solve the situation however you like, so long as you bring me the land grant. The target in question lives out in the woods, exactly where I'm not certain. Best of luck.
Yeah, I don't trust her as far as I could throw her. Parvati, what do you think? I don't think Parvati trusts her either.
Hello, welcome to the Prophet of Profitability's Private Prosperity Retreat. stay positive, and soon all your humors will be balanced.
Oh, real scientific, I
At
see.
least, that's what I keep telling myself. Anyway, I'm Aaliyah Mason. I work as the Prophet's right-hand woman. What can I do for you?
Can you tell me about the retreat? Do you know the Prophet? For positively disciple, you sound a little less than enthused. We'll start with Helen. All right, I was hired to look into Halcyon Helen's murder. I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Oh my. Yes, this is important enough for me to delay my bi-hourly self-flagellation. Ask away.
Sorry to interrupt that. I didn't know you had such plans going on. The Prophet had some kind of feud with Halcyon Helen, right?
Yes, the circumstances there are quite unfortunate. For a time, the Prophet was completely despondent. Even the hot coal walks weren't buoying her spirits as they usually do. However, we recently had a high-profile visitor whose presence seemed to alleviate whatever the Prophet's fears were.
Spencer Woolrich? God, if it is him, that's going to implicate him farther. I'll go ahead and ask it.
Oh, you must have misheard me. I said high profile, not had profile. Mr. Woolrich comes by much too often to be worth mentioning.
I guess she wouldn't have told me who it was anyway, but I'm kind of curious about the other answers.
Yes,
Who was it?
I'm actually not entirely certain. It was a surreptitious visit that stood out because it was surreptitious. Whoever it was must have paid the Prophet quite a lot to keep things quiet. At least that's the only reason I can think of for intentionally keeping things so hush-hush.
Or it could be related to a murder. Have you noticed any unusual behavior in the retreat lately?
Well, by and large, no. But something rather odd did happen regarding the Prophet recently. A few hours after our high-profile visitor arrived a couple of days ago, the Prophet asked me to take over sessions for the remainder of the day. At first, I was excited. Thought it was my chance to show her what I could do in charge. But then I saw that she was deeply worried about something. No one saw her until the next day.
Is it that she heard about the murder, or was she... Wait, how long ago was that? I didn't... A few hours after the high-profile visitor... Oh, it was a couple days ago. Okay, so that was probably a little too far back, right? Because the murder wasn't like a few days ago. I don't think. But that high-profile visitor very well could have been the person who did the murder, or it could have been related to the cover-up that I'm still pushing towards. It was Helen herself. Where were you at the time of the murder?
I was here, at the retreat in the company of the other disciples and clients. I rarely have more than a few minutes of alone time. Which is fine, of course. I do what I do in the service of the Prophet, who will, I'm sure, reward me for my sacrifice. Eventually.
Yeah, I don't think she had anything to do with it. I mean, Aaliyah, not the Prophet. The Prophet's still under questioning.
Certainly.
You seem a little less than enthused.
Oh, terribly sorry if I gave you that impression. I had a cramp. It's better now. I mean, it might be nice if I had a little inclination of whether the Prophet appreciated all the cooking and cleaning and hours of meditation I do on a daily basis.
Oh, tell us how you really feel.
But whatever she thinks isn't for me to question. I'll do my best to be more chipper.
Do you know the Prophet well?
Of course. I've been studying under her for years. I know each of her techniques more or less by heart, and even have some variations of my own, such as the quintuple daily stomach purges.
Oh, God.
She's promised me that I'd be allowed to open my own branch of the retreat someday soon. Of course, I've been waiting on someday soon for coming up on 4 years now. I'm sure it's gonna happen anytime now.
Yeah, keep holding out. You got it, I'm sure. What can you tell me about the retreat?
If you felt imbalanced and unproductive, linger in your malaise no longer. We have all the amenities and practices for calming the ill humors strangling your potential. Sit for hours in our sweat house and sweat them out, or stand amidst burning coals and feel your productive inhibitions burn away. And remember, think positive. Positivity equals productivity equals profitability.
Thank you for your time.
Actually, before you go, I want to report something suspicious.
Oh?
I noticed the Prophet's dragging something, a bundle, away from the retreat after that high-profile guest arrived. Normally, I'm the one who does her laundry, so it was strange. Especially because whatever she was dragging seemed oddly human-shaped.
Couldn't you have brought this information forward a little earlier?
I could have, but I generally don't have the time or energy to leave the reserve to contact anyone. Plus, there's always the possibility that I'm mistaken. The Prophet hasn't been herself lately, but if I misinterpreted the situation and reported her improperly, I'd ruin my chances for opening my own wing of the retreat.
Of course. So are you sure it was a body? I mean, she did just say that she's not sure about it, but...
I think so. Had the right size and shape.
Have you seen many bodies? Do you know what to look for? All right, I'll look into it. Thank you for the information. Oh, I'm drifting. Oh, this is the Hot Coals Walk. If I walk on it, am I going to get like a whole fire debuff? Yeah, out. Just had a quick little walk. I'm fine.
By concentrating on profit, I can invite wealth into my life.
Yeah, keep at it. Oh yeah, I was gonna go in there, but there's nothing. Oh, look at all this stuff out here.
She said I must burn away the old me in order to be transformed. I can feel my...
Okay, thank you, bye. Profit of Profitability Private Meditation Terminal. Welcome. If you are in search of a seminar, please speak to the Profit of Profitability directly. The messages on this terminal are private. Should you read them, your humors may be thrown off balance. Is your curiosity worth the loss of profits? Yes. Oh, from Ruth Bellamy. Oh, here we go. Profit. I've talked with my agents, and they've told me that what I said about your seminars, not taking them, actually lost you about 30% of your revenue for the next 3 months, with future losses projected. When I said I wasn't much interested in attending, I didn't realize that it hit you quite as hard as it did. Guess that's the price of stardom. Everyone listens a little extra to everything you say. Everything you said. I'm hoping, if you've got space, that I might be able to attend one of your sessions today, as a means of apologizing. I know that notice is short, but I'm hoping you can fit me in without too much inconvenience. Look at her, she's a nice person. Either that or she was plotting something. I don't know. There's so many ways all of this could go. Okay, Lee Whitaker. Hey Prophet, Whitaker here. Wanted to ask how that mix of herbs I sent you has worked out. I was skeptical at first about using them for meditation purposes, but hell, what do I know about productivity? That said, be sure to remember what I told you. Don't cut the herbs asymmetrically, hampers the texture. Don't leave them out in the sun, and for the law's sake, make sure you keep the smoke doses small. Last thing you want is to accidentally send someone into a coma, or worse, kill them. Be smart, Whitaker. Who was Whitaker? I know that name. I've heard of his name somewhere. From your devoted attendees. Prophet, the other attendees of Tripling Profits Through Transcendentalism and I have reconvened, and we're all in agreement. Your seminars are simply top-notch. We've seen a 0.5% increase in each of our businesses in total profits since we attended your seminar together. Of course, with the price of material, shipping, and other costs involved, it boils down to more of a 0.1% increase, but an increase is an increase. If you ever decide to visit the Grand Colonial, you simply must let us purchase you a round of drinks. Thanks to you, we certainly have the bits for it. So Ruth was here. She asked to come see the seminar. Sorry, you can go.
It's not good enough to be back.
By imagining wealth, I can evoke prosperity out of the universe.
Is there anything else to see in here? Oh, I can go in this one, okay. Oh, that's the Prophet. Alright, let's just put this down.
Timeline discrepancy detected
And of course,
nearby.
I put it down right when there's something. Is it behind me again? Where is it? Is it? Oh, it is like right over there. God, this is so slow to move.
Analysis suggests this to be a variety of herbs. Herbs have been uniformly treated with a pungent chemical mix. Warning: ingesting, smoking, or inserting non-corporation sanctioned substances into your ears
Into your
may be
ears?
harmful to your health.
Ears? Oh, I don't have enough medical. Oh. Burning these would generate some pretty toxic smoke. Discrepancy analyzer. How would these most likely be used?
Prior analysis suggests these herbs reach peak effectiveness when users burn them and inhale the resulting smoke. Whether or not this increased effectiveness is good for an afflicted individual has yet to be determined.
Can you analyze the chemical these herbs are treated with?
Analyzing. Complete. Substance appears to be a mix of industrial solvents and various essential oils. Substances include woolly cow dander remover, sprat oil, and starship surface wax.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna taste the herbs. Though the herbs are difficult to chew, the flavor is less bitter than you would have expected. It's woodsy, like tripical with a singed aftertaste. It's actually slightly better tasting than your average can of salt tuna, though so are most boots.
Hypothesizing potential side effects from herb consumption. Most likely outcome, decapitation. Slight possibility of calculation error.
I would hope so. Alright, make a note of it. Let's move on. Alright, Prophet, what are you doing over here?
Fruitful and productive welcome, brother. I had a feeling you would visit me. I offer a wide variety of productivity seminars. I hope you'll consider taking one. But I should remember my manners. To what do I owe the pleasure of the Special Inspector's arrival?
Oh, nothing but murder! Da-da! Is that like gold around her face? She had like gold flake on the sides of her face. That does seem very like Byzantine for her to do, so it would make sense if she's from Byzantium. Yeah, how did you know I was an inspector? I didn't introduce myself. Nice little encampment you've got here. Where do you indoctrinate people? I'm looking into the murder of Halcyon Helen. I'd like to ask you questions. Inspector who? I'm on vacation, no matter what anyone says I'm doing here. How do you know?
My disciples come to and from the Grand Colonial, bringing supplies and information. Knowing what happens at the hotel affects my livelihood, after all.
So you've got spies.
With that said, I'd love to involve you in one of my productivity seminars. We should clear you of all those nasty, nasty humors hampering your potential.
Oh, I like being humorous. Didn't Halcyon Helen say you were a hack? I've been feeling like my potential is hampered lately. What do you offer? Sorry, Prophet, I don't think I can spare the time. I've got a murder to look into. Humors? Don't think I understand. If I wanted someone peddling sprat oil, I'd buy a Spratwurst. Don't waste my time. I'm gonna go straight for this. Didn't Halcyon Helen say you were a hack?
Absolutely not. Any statements by Ms. Helen about us were blown out of proportion and altered by the media. In fact, she quite recently... excuse me. I seem to be remembering something that never happened.
Oh.
Whatever the case, I'm sure her speech about us was all a misunderstanding.
I mean, I know she was here, so... Okay, in between, I've got a murder to look into and this one, but I kind of like this one because she is definitely a hack. If I wanted someone peddling sprat oil, I'd buy a Spratwurst. Don't waste my time.
Sprat oil? That is, we understand your decision and respect it, but those humors will cling to you. You'll find success with my seminars, or a quarter of your money back. Regardless, I do understand. Is there anything else I can help you with?
I've got some questions about Halcyon Helen, some herbs, a human-shaped lump. Said you had no further interaction with Helen before her death, right? Let's go for that one. Now, maybe I'll start at the top. Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions about Halcyon Helen. Please answer truthfully.
Oh? I'm surprised. I wouldn't think the two of us would have much to discuss about her. We may have had some terse interactions before her death, which I most certainly regret. But beyond those, well, never mind. What would you care to know?
So she is super shifty. You and Helen didn't get along, I hear.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. The media tends to exaggerate. I will admit that her remarks about my seminars were rather unfortunate. However, I certainly wouldn't sharpen any sabers over it, if that's what you mean to imply. I only do that when my clients skimp on their bills.
Did you contact Helen after you left the Grand Colonial?
I did not. She had no interest in my seminars, and I had no interest in attempting to convert a stubborn actress. Why would I have had any cause to engage with her further?
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, I know for a fact she's lying, so I read your terminal. I think real carefully before you lie to me again. Sure you didn't send any messages? Yeah.
Well, I suppose that does complicate things.
Doesn't it?
Whatever the case, I didn't care to mention Helen's change in decision because she never showed up. I don't see how it matters.
Because you did have contact with her regardless of whether she showed up. You've got some interesting herbs in there.
I'm pleased that you noticed. Excellent eye, brother. The compound they're treated with is my own invention, designed to unlock an individual's true productive potential when burned. I can't say any more. Trade secrets, you know.
They seem toxic. Toxic enough to potentially kill someone.
None of my clients have ever complained, so I'm sure they're perfectly safe. Is there anything else?
Someone said they saw you dragging a human-shaped lump into your yurt.
Who said that? I'll be sure to give them a special seminar on not needlessly implicating the person who puts food on their table. It was a bundle of clothing, brother. Even productivity geniuses need to do laundry from time to time.
Why is she just... She's not very smart. She keeps running herself into these corners. If the herbs I found in here hint at a visitor, what are you hiding? It's tough to get blood out of clothes. Answer me before I show you just how tough. The quicker I get the truth, the faster I can leave you alone. Do I want to intimidate her? Maybe. Yeah.
Perhaps it wasn't clothes, after all. I had a visitor, yes, but as it turned out, some of my productivity techniques were too much for them. I had to drag them out by hand. But their peers came and collected them shortly thereafter. I'm sure whichever attendee it was is perfectly safe now.
So she used those herbs on somebody and killed him, and that the body had to be dragged out and taken away by his friends. You said you had no further interaction with Helen before her death, right?
Yes, that's correct. She made it clear that my seminars were of no interest to her.
Except for that email. So I saw the message from Helen on your terminal about attending a session.
Well, I suppose that does complicate things.
Same thing as
Whatever
she
the
said
case,
before.
I didn't care to mention Helen's change in decision because she never showed up. I don't see how it matters.
Okay, that's it for now.